Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. Starting us off is Noah on Inalla. You honestly need to be a wizard to pilot this list. It's an intricate Grixis combo list, aiming for Spellseeker loops. His opening hand was a Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Mox Diamond, Mystical Tutor, Talisman of Dominance, Fire Covenant, and Italian. Next up is Hidden on Atraxa. This is a 4-color good stuff list, aiming to loop Atraxa with Food Chain, or just blink it a few times to refuel on card advantage. His opening hand was a Misty Rainforest, Exotic Orchard, Birds of Paradise, Veil of Summer, Grand Abolisher, and an Orcish Bowmaster, bottoming a Force of Will. In the third spot we have Griffin on Sisay, Weatherlight Captain, aiming to use your commander's ability to instant speed tutor up either combos or silver bullets. His opening hand was a Taiga, Ancient Tomb, Bloom Tender, Edhrec, Relic of Legends, and a One Ring, bottoming an Amanatu. And bringing up the rear is Mike on Kirik, Son of Yawgmoth. This is a fast mono-black storm list with a reanimation sub-theme. His opening hand has a Verdant Catacombs, Scorched Ruin, Fellwar Stone, Necromancy, Beseech the Queen, Necropotence, and a Necrotic Ooze.
Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board.
Noah starts off the game with a Command Tower into a Mox Diamond, discarding an Exotic Orchard, and ending his turn with the Talisman of Dominance. Hidden plays and cracks a Misty Rainforest for a Tropical Island, shortcutting as he casts up Birds of Paradise. Griffin has a Taiga and passes. Mike also has a short turn, as he plays and cracks a Verdant Catacombs for a Swamp, but passes as he goes searching. Noah untaps and slams down a Rhystic Study. Hidden has an Arid Mesa and cracks a fetch for a Scrubland, but hands the turn over. Griffin plays out an Ancient Tomb and takes 2 as he casts a Relic of Legends. He can't pay for the Rhystic, but in response to the trigger, Hidden flashes in an Orcish Bowmaster. He will pay the 1, ping Noah off ETB, and then another when he draws off the Rhystic. Mike heads to his turn and plays out a Bazaar of Baghdad as land, passing after that. Noah untaps and in his upkeep casts a Mystical Tutor. He finds a Dark Ritual to put on top, and after drawing it for turn, fires it off to cast Italian from hand. Italian will resolve with Noah naming 2 as it enters. Hidden plays an Exotic Orchard as land and once again passes, making the comment that he will work with the team to shoot down the Italian if given the opportunity. Griffin takes another 2 as he casts the One Ring. He can't pay the 1, but Noah declines to draw, with Mike at his end step activating the Bazaar to draw 2, discard 3, as he discards a Hoarding Broodlord, Necropotence, and a Springleaf Drum, with it pinging him for 2 off the Bowmaster. Mike untaps and unfortunately doesn't hit a land as he passes it there. Noah though ends up doing the same, as he draws, doesn't do anything, and passes. Hidden plays out a Shifting Woodlands as land, and knowing Griff will use the ring at end of step, fires off a Demonic Tutor. Hidden will take 2 off Talion, and off the draw ping the Fey Lord. Hidden will then pay for the Rhystic, and searches out a card to hand. He then heads to combat and sends the 5/5 Orc army at Mike. There are no blocks, with Griffin at his end step tapping his ring to draw. Hidden will ping Talion, with Mike then activating his Bazaar. But responding to the activation, Noah pays 2 life into a Fire Covenant to try and take out both the birds and the Bowmaster, with Hidden responding with a Veil of Summer. Hidden doesn't pay the 1, with Noah drawing 1 and getting a 3rd ping onto Talion. The Bazaar trigger then resolves, with Mike drawing 2, and Hidden killing Talion and pinging Mike as well, with Mike discarding a Grim Monolith, Mind Stone, and a Necrotic Ooze. Griffin takes 1 off his ring, and then plays and cracks a Bloodstained Mire for an Underground Sea. Then for 1 casts a Carpet of Flowers. He pays the 1, and then follows it up with an Edhrec of the Healing House. Unfortunately, as he tapped his tomb to pay for the Rhystic, he unfortunately can't pay for the second one, as Noah draws, and Mike gets pinged for 1. Mike plays a Prismatic Vista as land and cracks the fetch for another swamp, tapping 1 for a mana vault. Noah will get another draw as Mike gets pinged once again, with Mike then taking 6 to cast his commander, Edhrec. Noah draws, Mike is pinged, as Mike then pays 6 more life into a Beseech the Queen. There's a Edhrec and a Rhystic trigger, but with another deal from Griffin, Griffin will tap his One Ring to draw 2. This lets him ping down Edhrec with the Bowmaster. Noah then draws off his Rhystic, with Mike getting pinged down to 14. Mike then finds a Reanimate and passes there. Noah has an Ancient Tomb as land, and for 1 casts a Mana Vault, passing as he discards a Misty due to hand size. Hidden starts off with combat and sends the 14/14 Orc army at Mike, who has no response and dies, with Hidden on his second main casting a Smothering Tithe. He gives a draw to Noah, who responds to the Tithe with a Spell Pierce, ending Hidden's turn there. Griffin takes 2 from his ring and then activates his carpet for a blue. He then plays and cracks a Flooded Strand for a Tundra. Then for 3 casts his commander Sisay, paying for the Rhystic. Noah cracks a Scalding Town for an Underground Sea, with and then Slaughter Pacting Sisay. Griffin will respond by using his Relic of Legend to tap his creatures for mana, letting him activate Sisay to search out a 2-drop. He doesn't have a way of stopping the pact and grabs out a Marvin. Sisay is then taken out, with Noah then following that up with an Imperial Recruiter. He'll tutor out a Spellseeker and then cast the creature, who resolves. This puts an Inalla and a search trigger on the stack, with Noah grabbing a Flusterstorm and an Unearth. Hidden once again starts off with combat. He sends the 14/14 Orc at Griffin, who takes the hit, with Hidden passing after that. Griffin then will take 2 off his ring and start off his turn with a Derevi. He doesn't pay the 1, with Noah drawing and Hidden getting 1 damage on Marvin. But with the Derevi still on the stack, Hidden casts an Abrupt Decay, targeting the Relic. He doesn't pay the 1, lets Noah draw, and puts the 2nd point of damage on the Marvin, killing the creature, although not before Griffin does tap it for black mana. The Relic is then destroyed, with Derevi on ETB untapping his Tundra. Griffin then uses his floating black on an Imperial Seal. He takes 2 off his tomb to pay for the Rhystic, but passes the turn as he goes searching. Noah untaps and pays for his pact. He plays out a Polluted Delta and cracks it for a Badlands, but passes as he discards a Finale of Promise and a Vidalcan Aethermage due to hand size. Hidden heads straight to combat and sends 16 at Griffin, who chumps with Derevi, as Hidden ends his turn with a Grand Abolisher. He'll pay the 1, with Griffin responding with a Desperation 1 Ring tap. He draws 3 and drops to 4 after the Bowmaster pings happen. Griffin though then drops to 1 off his ring. He makes a green off his carpet and has a City of Brass's land. He uses the green for an Oath of Nissa and pays the 1. He finds a Noble Hierarch and using the Iorith untaps his Taiga to cast the Mana Dork, exiling an Elfish Spirit Guide to pay for the Rhystic. Noah takes 1 from his tap vault and plays out a Verdant Catacombs, and then heads to combat. He sends both the Recruiter and Spellseeker at Griffin, but before blocks, Hidden makes a deal with Griffin to let him stay alive if he taps his ring. Griffin agrees, taps his ring, and draws 4. Hidden will then ping the Recruiter for 1 and Noah for 3. This still does force Griffin to chump the Spellseeker, with Noah on his second main casting a Psychriff to bounce the Orc army, following that up with his own 1 ring. He gains protection and then taps it to draw, with Hidden pinging his own Grand Abolisher to let him amass. Hidden then untaps and casts a Lotus Petal. He doesn't pay the 1, with Noah then drawing and pinging the Spellseeker. He then follows that up with a Time Twister. Noah will respond by cracking his fetch for an untapped Watery Grave, but the Time Twister then shuffles everything in, and unfortunately Noah still has protection, as Hidden puts the final point of damage on Griffin, while the other pings just go with the orc army itself. And unfortunately for Hidden, he had thought he had gotten rid of his Spellseeker, but at end step, Noah Wizard cycles a step through to put his creature into hand. Noah untaps and takes one from his ring, and another from his vault. He then casts a Wishclaw Talisman, and follows it up with a Lion's Eye Diamond. And with that, Noah then can cast his Spellseeker. Unfortunately for Hidden, his new hand was pretty terrible, and doesn't have any way of stopping Noah, as Noah can get 2 Spellseekers for a Culling the Weak and an Unearth, which lets him net mana and sacrifice the original Spellseeker, and then unearth it to get 2 more copies. This time, he gets a Sacrifice and a Finale of Promise. He sacks the Spellseeker this time and recasts the Finale to recast Unearth and the Culling the Weak. 2 more Spellseekers this time for an Entomb and a Reanimate, letting him entomb his Scholar of Ages, as he then can now loop the Scholar, which, long story short, along with the Entomb and Shallow Grave, lets him infinite mill himself and then reanimate for the Thassa's win. Game review. Man, I thought Bowmasters was going to carry me to victory, but unfortunately that one ring was perfectly timed, and the Time Twister wheeled me into a hand of nothing. Although maybe that's what I get when I took Mike out so early and made him wait for the game to end. Granted, he was showing the win, so I really wasn't left much of a choice. Thanks to everyone that joined for the game, and before everyone leaves, I want to thank our special Patreon members, Slyfox and Holy Septic, for their support of the channel, along with all of our other Patreon supporters as well. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.